Hello everyone, here to do a video on strikers for global since hopefully going from the patches we've recently had, town is on the horizon. I hope it comes this month, but I imagine it will come at the latest next month, although, disclaimer, you never know with global devs. Might end up being next year at the rate they do some things, but... So... what are strikers? Strikers are additions to your team that do not actually stand on the field of battle. So they're basically away on their own little section and they come in to do their skills and give your team bonuses. As you can see, I have slots for 2 right now. You start with 1 normally, and then as time goes on they add another slot, and then later on they'll add another slot, so there's 3 slots total maximum. So far anyway, from what we've seen in China. So how do you get strikers? So initially, when town opens, you get a choice between 2 free strikers, Rio or Kenso. I would generally recommend Kenso for reasons I will show later. He's a much more versatile character, I would say, than Rio, and arguably more powerful in his effects. But so you get a choice between those 2 when you start out. They also give you, I think, a choice to buy Athena with diamonds. She's also a pretty good striker. Athena and Kenso are very commonly used in the early days of strikers, and well, even later you can still see them in videos in China at this point, if they're not whales, because their effects are just so good, basically. So, apart from those 2 you get free, you get your strikers in town. And there's generally 2 ways to get them. The first is through the aid center, where you go to the resource center, and as you can see, you can buy them here with these little swirly things, right? So, we don't know if we're going to get this exact same configuration in global. I imagine so. Different regions have different strikers in this store. These things you get either through fishing, through events, you get them through your weekly attendance badge, which is something I will show you in a minute, and basically just general events, as I said a minute ago. You can get them from spend events or from biography events sometimes, it depends, it varies, and they just give a few out. They are not overly abundant, I would say. You won't be scraping for them all the time unless you're really upgrading a lot of strikers, but they also aren't really easy to get. So that's one place where you can get them. The other place where you can get them is in the fishery. So you have this little thing here where you can come in, you can fish, you get different rewards. You can see up here at the top, you can get different fishes. You need different nets to be able to catch each fish. The highest net will catch all of them, but if you only have a purple net, you won't be able to catch goldfish, for example. Yeah, like these here, these koi. So once you catch these fish, and as a pond, you need to level up your ponds and all that, but I'm not about to go into all this. Like, Poor Hero did a video talking about town, and he knows way better than I do. I just follow what him and Taku said to level my own town, so I will drop a link below so you can have a look at it. Once you get your fishes, you go into the marketplace, and in here you get your striker souls. There's a bunch of other stuff as well, as you can see. Well, you get your aid souls. So you get Kenso, Rio, Yuri, all of them purple, plus Ralph, who for some reason snuck in the middle of the gold ones, also purple. Then you got Kyo, Leona, Robert as the goldfish ones. You get 5 chances a day to fish. You can get up to 6 later. So basically, those are your 2 ways to get striker frags. Outside of buying them with diamonds, basically. They do things like striker packs, kind of like we do character packs, where you can get their frags and stuff to upgrade them and stuff like that. And for bosses, you actually have limited draws for their frags. So just like you would have a normal limited draw, when it comes turn for going its draw, for example, he will just get a limited, and you just have to bid on them like anything else. They have milestone boxes, just like normal draws do, and depending on where your position is, you get more or less fragments. You also normally get character frags when you do a boss draw, because as I said earlier, you also need character frags to upgrade strikers. So boss strikers are not cheap to maintain and upgrade. On top of everything else you're already doing, it's an added cost. So keep that in mind if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have three boss strikers, but you're running you're like VIP 2. It's not going to be easy. Okay, you might be able to do it in the long term, but early on you're going to struggle. Boss strikers are expensive to get, expensive to maintain, and expensive to upgrade. So what else do we have? That's how you get them. So let's have a look basically at how they work. Right, actually before we do that, let's go in here, because I mentioned earlier about those swirly things that you have in here to get them and how you can get them. As I said, you can get them from events, you can get them from fishing. Also, you can get them from your attendance badges. So the anniversary badge and the fishery badge. You can get these several different ways. If you don't have them any other way, you can get them from a mysterious vendor that appears every so often when you do your fishing. You'll get a notification saying, you know, mysterious black market trader appears, something like that, and he will sell these. And he will also sell smaller badges that are each worth 300 diamonds to upgrade your badges. So the more you upgrade it, the better stuff it gives. And as you can see here, you can claim esoteric pack and activeness pack, claim weekly. So the more you play, the more time you spend, I don't know what the threshold is, then that pack gives you more stuff basically. And what you want to do is, you know, make sure you're maxing that reward out at the beginning so you can get the maximum round of that currency to buy your striker frags. Always upgrade both these badges to the maximum, because they're actually really good, and the earlier you can get them upgraded, the better it is. So the minute I'm not sure if the black trader will be unlocked at the start or if it will take a little while to go. Not sure how Global's going to go about it, but as soon as you can start upgrading these badges, do so, because they're actually really useful. So let's have a look at what strikers can do. I've got both Rio and Kenso in my team. I have other people I could have as strikers, but these basically I'm running Team Arta fighting, and Mai will be gone once Tengu or Mr. Karate comes. So let's have a look at their abilities. Let's go to support. So Rio. We look at Rio. When you first get him and unlock him, which costs you 50 frags. Like, let me show you the cost of unlocking them. Here we go. So this is your striker cost. So as you can see, boss strikers more expensive. If you look as we go down, they require a literal shit ton of striker fragments, like 1,129 to max them out. That's a lot. Like, a draw will give you, a limited draw for striker will give you 300 and everything else. So you need to spend a lot of diamonds to get a striker to S max, which is plain red, is 1,029. That's a lot of fragments. Plus you have to do, you know, tome, bads, etc. Non-boss strikers can't get S max. So API 13 and below, they are limited to orange plus 3, as you can see in this chart. So have a look at this and look at how expensive they can be. Keep that in mind when you're designing your team. They are very powerful, boss strikers are, but they're also very expensive, okay? So let's have a look at the skills you have here. So to unlock Rio from the start, I think he is a 20 frag one because he's API 12. He might be 50 though. I'm not sure if 20 is, I need to correct that later, if it's for 11 or 12. And as you upgrade him, which you do Again, striker frags, normal frags. He gets these abilities here. So when you get into green +1, apart from coming out and doing his ult, which is his basic effect, just doing a little bit of damage, then the ones that receive the attack have their attack reduced for 2 rounds. Then your front row gains 7% block, which later goes up to 14% block. As you can see here, you gain more chances for him to activate as you upgrade him. You start with 1, then later on that goes up. You get it up to 2 here, and then when you get to, I think it's orange? Yeah, no, orange is skill slot. Oh, they don't get any more of their API 12 and 13 and 11 don't get that third one, it seems like. 8 chances +1 at blue. Yep, no more 8 chances. So yep, they cap out at 2. But yeah, as you can see, basically he is a typical defensive striker. Upgrade block, the downgrade attack, later on gives a little reflect. Normally the strikers tie in to abilities they have as the normal character in battle. They won't be 1 for 1, they won't be exact, but this is what they give. On the other hand, we have Kenso, which you're going to see the reason why I recommended him. So his basic ult is, as usual, he heals. He heals the character with the lowest health. That's already really good to have as a striker. I think most people would like to have Kenso in the team if he wasn't so squishy, just because of that heal to your lowest health character. But not only that, the minute you get him to green +1, he gives 25% block to the character he heals for 2 rounds. So not only is he healing him, he is making him tankier, so if they target him again, he is going to be harder to kill. That bonus, later on, goes up to 40% block. That's a massive amount. That's a massive amount. And his heal can go up by 10%. So both of these characters, as you could see earlier, their frags are relatively easy to get. You can get them from 2 different places. But I think Kenso's effects generally are just better overall, and they are more versatile than Rio's are, I think. So if you look here, you also have, where are they? Skill slots unlocked, right? So you start with none. Very early on, you unlock your first, and you get these little books to put in here. So, you know, this one makes him do a little bit more damage, basically. This one gives one of my rear allies 10% damage, which is really, really nice. You get these with these fragments down here, and you also use them to upgrade them. This one's a +3 one, as you can see, so the effects go up. So, how do you get those pages? Again, same as we were talking earlier. Fishing. Fishing basically gets you most things to do with strikers. So if we go into our raid center and we go into the resource center, you can see these books here. We have different kinds of pages, normal page frags, which you can buy for different fishes, and you have the purple ones, which you can buy again for different fishes. But these are, you know, the higher the rarity, the harder they are to get. They all have different effects. They all go in different slots. For example, this one increases your striker's control. So if you have a striker that has CC, like let's say Orochi Chris, then this could be good. If you have an Orochi himself, this could be good. If you have a cooler, this could be good. Only a gank can use this, and it can only go on that first slot we saw earlier. You have others like strong attack. This increases the striker's damage. It's general, so anybody can use it, and again it goes in slot 1. So, you know how, as you can see up here, they have different requirements. This is a DPS book, so this enhances attack for 2 allies. DPS only, so only DPS strikers can wear it. And it needs to go in slot 2, it can't go in any other slot. Okay, so back to the fishery. If we go in here in the marketplace, and we go down, this is where you buy them. You get these from the other pond. There's 2 ponds to fish from. And as you can see, this one requires green fish, which are easy to get. This one requires orange fish, which aren't so easy to get. and you get those from this one. So as you upgrade them, this will come naturally as you upgrade your pawns. You'll find out how that works. So what else do we have for strikers? Oh, how to level them up to increase. So all strikers give a generic team bonus. So if you go in here, enhance, support. So they all give a generic team bonus, you can see up here. So bonus to HP, defense and attack. The higher level they are, the more they give. So how do you upgrade them? With these potions. And where do you get these from? Again, you go back to town. And in our aid center, you have this tab. So in here, you can basically create these potions. They take time to make, as you can see here, 36 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. And you can make these in exchange for resources. So as you level up your town and you're making resources, when you're making these potions, they will consume some of those resources. Again, this will all come fairly naturally to you once you get used to how the town works. But so to increase that bonus they give and to increase the striker level, you need to get these potions. Now, for boss strikers, they have one little extra caveat. So all of these caveats, all of these strikers, as you can see, had these slots for books, right? Where are we? Here. They have these slots for books. But bosses, I don't have any, you know, boss strikers because I ain't a whale. But bosses have special books. They have their own special skill books, which can improve their striker abilities even more, right? So let me think. I don't have anyone that has one unlocked, but unfortunately the kids aren't unlocked as strikers yet. But to give you an idea, I will show you this. This was made by Yamate from the KOF United Discord. I will leave the link below to the Discord and to his sheet because it's really useful. But if you look here, right, you have all your striker skills here, but here you have your unique skill book effect, and this shows what it does. So for example, for snakes, you have Leona, or Crazy Leona, with this. Not all bosses need their books, they're not all equally as useful. But for example, if you're going to go with Rob 2K2 as a striker, you definitely want his book, because increased 30% critical rate is amazing, because you want him for his damage. Decreasing target resistance is really good, plus also decreasing the damage, but you're hoping they're dead, so you don't really care about that part. But different bosses have different books, they do different things. Not all of them are going to be as useful, not all boss strikers will need them. But again, keep that in mind, that's going to be about another 10k if you want to get their skill book. So, costs keep adding up for boss strikers here. They're really powerful, but again, like normal bosses, high cost of maintenance. Good idea to plan ahead if you're planning on having them. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it explained. I don't think there's much else we can explain about them. They don't have that much stuff really. So, you know, we've seen what they can do, we've seen how you can get them. I don't think there's much else to say about it. So hopefully this will help you to get a clearer picture of how strikers work and what they are. Even though, you know, I'm terrible at this stuff and I've just been rambling along, jumping from subject to subject. But yeah, hopefully this helps, and that's all for now, folks.